how's it going? It's Kevin, Kenney. Welcome to On the Record. Our guest today in the Billboard offices, The Script.
How's it going, brother?
How are you?
How's it going, guys?
Good, man, very good.
You guys were very generous. We usually get 2 songs, maybe 3 songs if we're lucky out of a guest. You guys give us 4 songs today.
You can't stop us. We're Irish guys. Never invite Irish people to your house. We show up. You know when you're being nice and you just say to somebody, come over for a
You
drink?
guys should come over for a drink sometime. We're like, bing
And we
bong.
don't
We're
go
there,
home.
ding dong. You're like, oh,
We're at the
God,
door.
they showed up.
2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Can't get rid of you. Well, the record is called Freedom Child. It's out everywhere. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's a tremendous record. You know, it's funny to me. I listened to the whole thing this past week. It's a perfect fall record. And what I mean by that is, you know, if you're going back to school, maybe if you're just hitting the reset button coming off summer, you can't listen to this without leaving with a really positive, healthy, clear mindset, I think.
Awesome.
It's a very
Thank you.
uplifting record.
Thank you. Yeah, it's something we try to write. You know, we feel like kind of, you know, the world is missing out on some positivity these days, and you know, with all the negativity that's coming down all the channels, social media, on the news, everything, that we just wanted to have a record that, I don't know, it's almost like escapism. You know,
Yeah.
we touch on subjects that are a little touchy. You know, we have a song on there called "Divided States of America," which touches on you know, trying to unite everybody right now. We've another song called "Arms Open," which is in contrast to that, which is like saying, you know, everybody needs a hug right now. So, you know, let's hug it out, you know.
Right.
But like I said, we've got other songs on there which are just fun. A song called "No Man Is an Island," which is kind of our attempt of mixing ska, Police style, kind of, you know, skank janky guitars with
EDM.
yeah, with EDM.
Yeah.
And it's really, really fun. But like I said, we love the record. It's one of my favorite, to be honest, because normally I'll leave the album before we release it. I'll just like we finish it, and then I just quite enjoy listening to it when it's out. But I've just had it on repeat.
Really?
Yeah, I've just had it on repeat myself. So I think it's very strange for me to do that as well. So I'm like, I'm a fan of our band.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's like I wasn't
That's a good
before, but
feeling.
like
That should
yeah,
be the goal every single time out.
yeah, of course.
I want to talk about the title of the record, Freedom Child, and maybe the inspiration behind the album.
Sure.
And I think it goes back, Mark, to a kind of a difficult conversation you had to have with your son.
Yeah, it was quite hard. My wife had gone away for a week. She's from Houston, Texas, and she'd come back over to visit family. So I was doing any dad out there knows when you get left with the kids, you know, and destroying the household. And I just felt really vulnerable. I'm telling that because when my boy was at school, at that same time, they were doing these drills for terrorism, and in case terrorism act had happened, and because terrorism is the new norm, this is a potential thing that can happen in schools. And he just came home from school. He's 7 years old, and he came home from school, and he said, Dad, what is terrorism? And I just suddenly thought, wow, while the school are trying to teach them what to do in the event of an attack, they're not explaining to them what it actually is. And he'd got no idea. And for anybody who is a parent out there, it's a really difficult conversation to have with a 7-year-old. And and again, my wife being away, I didn't know what the heck to say to him, because she's usually the one that's really great with that stuff. And here I am going, oh my gosh, I can't change a light bulb or fix that, and I'm not handy, but I can write a song. So I just decided that a song was the best approach to do it in, and I started to write this song called Freedom Child. And I started to talk to the guys about it, and they were like, this is an awesome concept. So we finished it up, and we just wanted to inject this ultra positivity in the song to say, you know, in the face of hate, the only way to beat hate is with love. The only way to beat a bully in school is by almost feeling sorry for them and almost feeling, just show them love. And the middle 8, weirdly enough, is what he really was attracted to, and he really resonated with him. Whereas we say, put a flower on the top of a gun, put confetti in an atomic bomb. It's time to change because we've seen enough. Instead of war, we're declaring love. And that's something that resonated. And when I realized that those words start to really resonate with a 7-year-old, you realize that it's through song form often that young people are able to learn how to deal with these things, because terrorism doesn't just come in the form of a terrorist, so to speak. It comes in the form of bullies in school, for example. It comes in the form of feeling like your body shape is not good because society makes us feel bad, because maybe you don't feel perfect. And people are, I find, despite the fact that we're on social media all around the world and we're taking all these fantastic photographs of ourselves, it's all the best moments of your life. Really, It's kind of scary that people feel probably more unhappy now than ever. So we thought a song like this would be a great flagship song, and like an umbrella to sit all the other songs underneath it and make a concept that you feel a little bit responsible when you're on a stage like this, and when you are on your 5th album, and you feel like maybe we should say something that is a little bit more powerful and speak to young people a bit more. So that's where it came from.
Well, I want to talk about that because you guys have said, and it has been said, that this is the first time that you're letting world events and politics sort of penetrate the songwriting process. And Glenn, I'll pose this question to you: is what do you attribute that to? Do you think it was you guys finally letting that in and letting that influence in, or were certain issues just getting so big that you couldn't ignore it going into the record?
Well, a lot of this album was part of the album was done in America. So while we were out in America, you couldn't help but see what was going on. And obviously, when Trump got elected, Danny was actually on his way home from America at the time, and it was Mark that issued Dan a warning and said, "You want to be careful on your way home because there might be some trouble on the way back." And Danny's like, "No way, there wouldn't be." And of course, at that there was uproar. Everybody went crazy over the whole thing, and that really affected us in the studio when we were in there. You couldn't help but be affected by it was all over the news. It was everywhere. It was in the newspapers. It just spilled into the studio, and we felt like we have to write about this. It's all around us.
Yeah. Inescapable in certain ways.
No, sorry.
No, please. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say that it's difficult because we are such massive fans of America. You know, we have looked upon this country since we're children, and it's called the United States, and it's full of positivity, and we come here and we feel that love all the time. And that was a moment when it was the first time we felt it was divided. But it wasn't. The song is not. We have a song called "Divided States of America," but it's not necessarily about just America. Yeah. America was the last straw for us because Brexit had just happened for us in the UK, and a lot of political events had happened throughout the world, which seem to be dividing all these countries up. And instead of building bridges, we seem to be building walls, and that really scared us. That nowadays, just because people have a difference of opinion, it's an argument. Where we used to be able to sit with people who are different and they had an opinion, and we were able to preach tolerance, and tolerance was much more prevalent. And now tolerance seems to be less prevalent. And so divided states, as Glenn said, it just ended up really affecting us profoundly. And I think the news at that point made its way into the studio, and we got slightly annoyed and wrote that song.
Yeah, and let it all out.
Yeah.
Danny, this was a tough record, or at least a tough journey to making this record for you. You had vocal surgery, is that true?
Yeah, actually, it was last January. I ended up. I remember being in the studio and I couldn't hit the notes in some of the songs, and I was smoking at the time. I was drinking, and I was kind of leaning a bit on that, blaming that, and saying, "No, it's just so I'll knock that on the head." A few weeks later, I still couldn't hit the notes, and I was like, "There's something wrong here," So I went to the doctors. The doctor had a look down, and he noticed that I had a node. And for those of you that don't know what a node is, it's on your vocal cords. It's like a tiny bump from where your cords have been forced together through pressure. Wow. So this had formed, and you can take steroids and stuff and try and reduce the swelling over a number of months. But I didn't really have that time, so I went for the other option, which was the surgery. So 99.9% of the time it works perfectly. But that's not what I'm thinking about when I'm going to go into. I'm always thinking about the worst case scenario. So I went in once. I had to go completely silent for the bones of a month. So first 2 weeks completely silent, can't say anything.
Peace.
You can't you can't cough.
Glenn loved it.
You can't burp.
So awesome.
You can't do anything. You can't make a single sound because otherwise you're going to harm the traumatic period.
Impossible.
Yeah, it really was. It was really difficult. I say it was really easy for everybody else. Girlfriend, family. It's the longest I've shut my mouth for a long, long time. Right. But then of course I went back in, and the doctor was like, "I don't know how to tell you this, but we didn't get it all out. We're gonna have to go in again." So I had to go back in again. I did the surgery again. Stayed quiet for another 2 weeks, and I mean totally silent. And then you come back out of it again. And you're able to speak for 5 minutes every hour. So that's the average. You can speak for 5 minutes, rest for 55, then speak for the next 5 minutes. And I did that for another 2 weeks and then kind of build it back up again. So it took me a really long time to get the stamina back up to just talking, and then, of course, talking and singing and humming and, trying to sing the songs but in a lower key and all these kind of things. So it was probably the bones of a year, if I'm being honest. It was a year. Now, we were in the studio at the time writing anyway, but I'd say I'd take my hat off to the guys because I was writing lyrics and I was like saying to them, "I have an idea for a song. Here's the lyrics. Here's the notes." And I was playing the notes on the keyboard and he'd sing the demo. So a lot of you know, even in like let's say Rock the World and stuff like that was like, you know, trying to like him singing the demo and me going, actually that sounds awesome. Why would I even want to change it? You know what I mean? Like Written in the Scars and stuff like that. So it was a journey, you know. One of the things I think one of the great things that came out of it was the education and the fact that I'm able to say I went through all these things, because I know there's a lot of singers out there who probably are smoking, you know, drinking too much, burning the candle at both ends, and I'm here to say give it all up, because it does affect you. It will eventually throw around your get both hands around your throat. So but also I fell in love with music again, because I wasn't able to sing, I wasn't able to do anything, so all I could do was sit around, headphones on, and just like, you know, falling in love with music all over again. And it was a really it was a weird time. You know, I think priests go through this whole thing, you know, you'll have a shaman monk who goes through like a vow of silence for a week. I was like, dude, try it for 2 months. You know, you start to find you have an outer body experience when you do it for 2 months. It was quite an experience.
You talk about falling in love with music. A song that I absolutely fell in love with while listening to the new record is Mad Love. And we don't hear that today, but I love that song. What can you tell us about that song?
It was, you know, in a way, there's often relationships that they're built on obviously love and all the nice fluffy stuff, but some relationships are throwing plates at each other and having that kind of turmoil in a relationship. And we wanted to write about that. We almost had Harley Quinn and Joker in our heads when we were thinking about the song, because they have a mad love, and we just thought it'd be a really cool concept to kind of combine that crazy world of two people who are very much so, we know people like this, you know, who are very much so not good for each other, but somehow can't get away from each other. And you'd say to them, you know, you're not good for each other. You kind of need to leave this relationship. They say, but we've got so much chemistry. It's like,
but
I know,
I love him.
I get it, but you're hurting each other in such a weird way. But yet it just works for some people, and we can't.
Napalm has chemistry as well. You know?
Yeah. But you know, so we wanted to. We just wrote that song, and we, again, you just kind of park these songs to the side, and then when you're putting the album together, it just became a song that became important, because you almost want to tip your hat to some people and almost say, you know what, love isn't perfect, and it comes in all shapes and sizes. And I think Mad Love is a great example of, you kind of have to say, just because one relationship seems to be all rosy in the garden, some relationships work, but they have turmoil, you know.
Yeah. Well, if you guys wind up making a video for Mad Love, I'm totally here for the Harley Quinn Joker.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
So you guys are hitting the road at the end of this month. I think tour kicks off September 28th.
Yep.
September 29th, though, you're going to be here in the city playing Radio City
Radio
Music
City
Hall.
Music Hall. Yes,
That's
we are.
Amazing.
One of our
Have you
favorite
guys played there
venues.
before?
Once before, yes.
Once before.
Yeah, we
okay.
played it once before, but we love that venue. It's one that's very close to our hearts as well. You know, it's a very, very, very famous venue. I just love looking around at the people, because you can see everybody there.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's a big difference from playing Croke Park, where there's 80,000 people. All you can kind of see is the first 10 rows. The rest of it is just like a big dream kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
But this is like you can see everybody's face.
It also sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's
the
a killer,
shape of the
killer
room,
gig.
The sound is fantastic.
We're
isn't it?
for band and people, which
Yeah.
is weird. You don't always get that. You
Yeah.
don't always get the band enjoying the sound as much as the
That's
audience.
right.
which-
It's
and
a
it
two-way
does,
thing, a reciprocal thing. So while they're enjoying the sound, we're enjoying the sound of them enjoying the
Yeah, it's
sound
great.
as well.
Definitely.
So it's like we know what's going on. We can hear it.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It is, but very daunting. The first time we played it, we were very nervous, because it was like, oh my God, Radio City Music Hall.
It's a big
So we're
venue.
like, this is scary.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now I'm really looking forward to play it and not be as nervous. Probably a little bit nervous, but not as nervous.
Right.
Yeah.
What else can we expect from tour? Where else are you going to be heading?
We're
Is
going
it-
around. We're going to Boston. We're going
Okay.
to Mashantucket. We're going to Los Angeles. We're you gotta go to our website and check out the dates.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
We're
Probably
going to
across
the
social media
hospital
too.
for
They can find the
shots,
dates.
No, I am actually. Yeah.
You are?
I said we're going to go to the hospital to get shots, so my shoulder won't hurt anymore
Yeah.
when I'm on tour.
There you go. Lots of stops.
Yeah.
Get his mouth stitched up. You know,
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
the-
exactly.
But yeah, go on and check out the dates and come see us.
Give our socials a shout out. Let everybody know where to go.
To the gig.
I think they'll be attached to this somehow.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm
as
sure.
They're
we
down
can,
here or up
you
there
can put your
or
socials
either
up on the
side.
screen right now. Thank you so much for stopping by, for giving us 4 songs again. That was very
Thanks
nice.
again.
Oh,
and
no
generous.
worries,
Yeah.
man. We would have given you 14. There's no problem.
Yeah.
If you brought the rest
I
of the
would have
band.
been here for all 14.
Yeah.
The album again, Freedom Child, available everywhere, and tour kicks off at the end of September. The script, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, brother.
Thanks for having us.